Okay, so it's been a while since I've done anything like this. I'm going to be doing these events every Friday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is just to introduce you guys to this energy modality. As I have crafted it over the years, I've been working with the same type of energy for a very, 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 very long time. Almost 18 years now, I believe. And it's honestly taken me that long to put it into a framework that I consider to be a unique modality, so I'm calling that Xayun Waho, and that's what I'm going to be doing today. In each of the different sessions that we're doing, live sessions, feel free to comment and put your name in the chat if you want to comment. Some people might be joining me from various Facebook groups that I'm a part of, and so I won't know who you are unless you actually say it, because everybody's YouTube name is different. If you're new to doing energy work online, just know that, yes, you can receive energy through a screen. It's been a very, very long time since we proved that to ourselves as energy healers or light workers or whatever you want to call them. People still tell me that some of my old videos from like 10, 12 years ago, they can still feel the energy coming off of it. So I don't doubt any of that kind of stuff. Let me know if there are any technical issues that you have along the way. I also want to talk about, well, first of all, each session is going to have a different purpose or use. So the same energy, and you're going to see the same postures used and the same sort of guided meditations that we're going to go through every single time. You'll start to see the pattern. That is the modality that I'm working with. All right. And each session is going to have a specific purpose. So this one is going to be about removing negative entities. Everybody loves that concept these days. Everybody thinks they have spirit attachments and demons and all kinds of crazy things. And a lot of them do. I've dealt with that kind of stuff in the past for other people and for myself. And I don't think there's really any better energy to use for it. I recently had a spirit brother ask me how to use this energy specifically for that. And he was using the solar variety and this sort of concept of send a being into the light. Well, beings like that, they don't like to go into the light, so you can love and light yourself all you want to try to get rid of something like that. In my opinion, it's not the best way to get them to move on. So I recommended using the void variety of Xayun Waho in order to facilitate the release of that entity or spirit and recycle it, basically. So that's what we're going to be doing in this session. And again, you're going to see the same postures and the same patterns repeated through every single session. I do apologize. I am getting over a cold, and so all this stuff is going on. If I have to, blow my nose or something like that, please forgive me. You can always support my work on Patreon, link below and all of that good stuff, or you can just contact me personally and make a donation if you want to. Okay, so I'm going to have a lot of people joining from different groups on Facebook, so I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. I'm going to have people from different organizations that I belong to showing up, and feel free to comment again. Feel free to ask questions if you want to, and I will try to get to them eventually. Maybe not in the moment, but when I'm wrapping up. So when it comes to the discussion about group work and working together as energy workers, you probably know that I tend to be very guarded with my energy. Hi, April. I tend to be very guarded with that. I tend to be, I don't like other people giving me energy work, if that makes sense. I've had a lot of people over the years, oh, can I have an Akadwa transmission in exchange for my Reiki thing? And I'm like, no, I don't really feel like I need it. This modality, this energy tends to be able to imitate any energy whatsoever. It's nice to see you too. True Awesome Network. I see you there. Not sure who that is, but yeah, thanks for being here. And so I don't really feel like you need other modalities. I've always been able to pull deeksha, with Xayun Waho, or pull Reiki or whatever it is you want to work with. Elemental energies, earth energies, planetary energies, all the things. And I've just never been comfortable with other people giving me stuff, people whom I trust, that's a totally different story. Obviously, if I vibe with you and I trust you, then yeah, I'll get an energy transmission from you or let you work on me personally. So when I'm working with other people, I try to tell them, like, just don't share your energy willy-nilly. I've always been very cautious going into groups because you never know what's sticking around. You never know. I hate to use the word because it's not a popular term these days, but their level of spiritual virtue or even morality, if that comes into play. You don't know these people. You don't know what spirit attachments they have. You don't know what entities they have lingering around them, that kind of thing. And so I'm really cautious when I'm working in groups or when I'm working with other people. So when we're doing this kind of stuff, what I want to do is take you through an individualized, personal protection that you will do first to guard yourself, so that you can be sure that when I am sharing this energy with you, that you're only getting the good stuff. I trust me, but you might not. So this is my way of making up for that. So that's what we're going to do to start. A little bit of a guided meditation and some energy work that you're going to do yourself. And again, you'll see the same sequence of mudras and postures that we're going to use through every single one of these sessions. Okay. So also, just to mention, this is a combination of all of the work that I've done in the past, stuff from Qigong, Neigong, Neidan, Toltec energy work, shamanic trance work, ecstatic shamanic trance, that kind of stuff, all lumped together, and it's sort of becoming my own modality, and that's what I want to present here. All right, so to begin with, we're going to start with something simple from Neigong, internal work or internal skill, and we're going to do either this mudra, which really centers your energy and closes it up. That's how you build up energy in the center of your body. So you can do that. You basically just take one hand and wrap that around the thumb and then wrap this way. It's very tight and very closed. And so we use this to open whatever practice or whatever energy work you're going to be doing. And then you would use it to close it later. All right. Should have repainted my nails. Didn't think of that. The other one that you can use is the diamond mudra, which is, you'll see Buddhists do this. You see people who do Qigong use this a lot. And it's a very simple one. This is the one I recommend for most people. It's a little more comfortable. It's a little more fluid and easy, and it allows the energy to move in your system, to move around in your system and sort of mix. It's still closed and tight. Anytime you bring the hands together, you're closing off your energy circuits and allowing energy to circulate throughout your body, right? So this is the one I like to recommend for most people. So we'll go ahead and start with that one. And we're just going to keep it in front of the belly. And all you're going to do is focus and breathe into the center of your belly. When I do all of these events, I typically just say breathe low and slow. All right. You want your belly to expand, and you want to be sort of creating a balloon type feeling so that it's just expanding from all directions, backwards and forwards. So just take a few moments to do that. Center yourself in the lower dantian or in the belly area. This is what I like to call the boring part of the work, because you're not going to be necessarily feeling anything. It's the slow stuff, and we're just starting out. But a lot of things, I'll just mention this and we'll get back to focusing. A lot of energy workers and people in the new age just tend to just do it with no protections, no centering, no building of energy or anything like that. And I never recommend that. But you always need to start out. You always need to open. You always need to concentrate, and you always need to build energy first and center yourself. Otherwise, things just get really out of whack. So we're not calling in any other types of energies. We're not using Xayun Waho. We're not using Reiki. We're not doing anything like that. Just literally just sinking your mind, sinking your consciousness into the center of your stomach. You can also imagine that you're breathing through your navel. That's always a good way to do it. Or at least pulling air in to the navel. Also, I want to refine these sessions as we go along. So tell me, the levels of the music, if they're too loud, or if you can't hear my voice, or how that's going. I haven't done this in a while, so it's going to take a while to get into a routine. I will do some videos where I'm all the way back here, pull the microphone closer, and you'll see me on my meditation stool, and you'll be able to see the rest of my body and where my arms go. For here, just to get going, I'm just going to describe it. So the next thing that we're going to do after we've concentrated energy into the lower dantian or the belly area is put the hands downward, pointing to the ground, and you're just going to have your hands kind of like hanging lightly open, not completely loose, just very, very slightly taut. Okay. Down towards the earth. And once again, we're going to create this feeling of sinking, of gravity, of moving down towards the center of the earth. So much like you would concentrate your attention or your focus in the center of your belly or the lower dantian, now we're moving into an even lower dantian, the center of the earth, or elixir field of the earth. Okay. This is even harder because the earth has a much slower, lower density, lower vibration, if you want to call it that, than we do. And so it's much harder to get into the center of that. But this is where it all happens. If you can truly merge your consciousness with the center of the earth, then you will start to increase your energy levels. All the bad stuff gets recycled out of you. New vibrant energy or chi gets pushed up into your system, and you'll start to feel it like waves that come up your legs and then into the central sort of processing system. All right, so fingers pointing down at the sides. Obviously, it helps to have a chair with no arms on it. This one has really short arms, so it's fine. But if you have a stool or something like that, you can do that. All of these too are done in a seated position. I rarely work in a lotus position or anything like that. It really changes the energy. I prefer to be in a seated position with my legs firmly planted, or my feet firmly planted on the ground, not too far back, not too far forward, not splayed out like a cowboy, and not just tight like this. All right, so somewhere in between that is comfortable and that allows the energy to move and flow. This will be much more important when we get into the ecstatic movement practices. I'm also going to be illustrating and practicing for you guys on this live stream. All right, so fingers pointing down. It's sort of like lady's hand, it's called in Tai Chi, where you're not like this and you're not like this. You're somewhere in between. And sometimes you'll find that little shaky point. That's where energy really starts to come out and flow. It's that in between point of tension and relaxation. Okay, so that's what you want. On both hands, pointing towards the earth. All you need to do for these, you don't have to visualize anything. Terrible visualizer myself. And so what I do is just will it, intend it, know that it is happening. I am merging my consciousness with the center of the earth. All right, that's all you need to do. And continue to breathe as low and slow as possible. And by low, I mean into the lower abdomen. If you really want to build energy, this is not doing any of the external energy work. This is all just sort of qigong kind of stuff with these types of postures. All right, then you would start to sort of move or pivot your hands very, very slowly. You can imagine or intend that your hands have become very long and are in the center of the earth. If you like a sort of visualization or just light image to guide you, you can also imagine that you are yourself in the center of the earth and that you're dipping your hands, your fingers, and slowly moving them, twisting them around into a pool of dark violet energy. This is the sort of energy of the earth, that recycling like type energy, and the energy that starts to move into your body when you do work with this. It's very thick, it's very dense, and this is what creates Jing in the body. So that is the densest form of energy, form of chi in the human body, and that's responsible for all the physical stuff. This is supposed to be the hardest energy to cultivate for humans. All right. Most Taoists will say that you can't get extra Jing. I do not believe that personally. I've felt it, I've experienced it myself before. And you only have a limited amount of it, and so you need to save it by not engaging too much in sexual activity or too much physical activity, blah, 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 things like that. I do not believe that. I think that you can get there, but again, it is such a low, dense vibration that it is difficult for most people to do. So if this is difficult for you to connect to at first, don't worry, it does get easier. So you're just like stirring a sort of pool of dark violet energy. You can think of it as indigo, I suppose. And just kind of stirring the pot and mixing it up and moving back and stirring and mixing it up like that. Ah, Frank and Jeff. I'm not sure if I said hi to Jeff. Thank you for being here. Cool. Okay, so if you just got here and you didn't know what we were doing, we just started centering ourselves, lower dantian, doing this, collecting energy in the belly region, breathing into the lower abdomen, breathing as slowly as possible. Let's do everything as slowly as possible, unless we're doing like, like really fierce fire breaths and things like that. That'll come up later. And then we're moving to hands down, pointing towards the earth, towards the floor, and eventually sort of just kind of mixing that pool in the center of the earth of dark violet energy. We're sort of churning it, okay? So very, very slowly churning it. It's like at a snail's pace, as slowly as possible. Don't have to visualize anything, just know that it is happening. And once we've done that, we're going to sort of scoop up the energy with our hands like that. And we're going to center it with this form, this mudra, with the navel in the center of this triangle. Okay, does that make sense? Don't touch the fingers. I'm only doing that to show you the shape. If you touch the fingers, then you create a circuit, and we're just trying to push that energy into the lower dantian. So keep them there for a bit. Continuing to breathe low and slow. Also, if you come into any of these sessions late, I'm not exactly sure how it works, but you should be able to go back and watch the beginning. Also, of course, they will be available on my YouTube page later. And if you're coming and joining from any of the groups that I posted in, then I'll be posting the videos there as well. All right. So after we've done that, that's the most boring part. That is just the opening. Okay. That's why I mean that it's boring. This is the stuff that it takes to actually get into a good place, to receive good energy from an energy healer. Or if you're doing your own practice, in order for the energy that you're working with to really have a profound effect on you. Again, most people jump the gun, they rush into things, they just start doing the energy works, and it's like, no. You need a foundation, you need to center, you need to create a sacred space, in my opinion. You need the protections, you need the whole gamut. This world is freaking crazy these days, and I think more of us need to do this type of stuff on a regular basis. So, now the more fun part, you can use a visualization for this if you really want to. But what we're going to be doing is moving our hands upward. So we're going to have this kind of thing open again, just kind of taut in between tense and relaxed. Somewhere in between. Allow that energy to really move out and flow. Okay. And what we're going to be doing is imagining a golden ball of light, few inches, maybe 3 to 8 inches above the head, and that's going to be a sphere of golden light. New Agers would call this point the soul star chakra, and we're just going to make that as real as possible. You can smile to sort of open the crown chakra and intend and know, intend and know, intend and know. You could say you're willing it to be. If you're a strong visualizer, then all you have to do is visualize it and it's there. I cannot do that. Not a good visualizer, as I said before. And so we're just golden light above here, okay? You'll start to see, or you start to feel, and it's much easier for me to feel things, by position and what it actually feels like, because I sense energy very well. I don't see it. What position your hands are supposed to be in for this to really be effective, okay? So, ball of golden light, this is your original consciousness. This is all of your senses, all of your perceptions, all of your awarenesses in one form, okay? Taoists will call it Yuan Shen, original spirit. That's what we're working with here, okay? So once we get that going, then we're going to physically and with intention pull a sheath of golden energy around our energy bodies. So I've flipped from this position to this position, sort of like I'm pulling it out, and we're going to move very slowly around the auric field, very slowly. Okay, so breathing as low and slow as possible, slow breathing. Pulling it like you're pulling a thread of silk. That's how slow you want to be, or a sheet of silk, all the way around your energy bodies, okay? And you want to go out as far as possible, and then you're leading it down, and you're going to end in the same position that we were in before, the hands pointed towards the earth. And then eventually you sort of curl them towards the center of your body. So like where your tailbone would be pointing on the ground, if that makes sense. So slowly though, I'm just doing this rapid fire so we can get to the good stuff, okay? And you want to maintain the intention or the image, the visualization, if you're working with the visualization, that you're creating this golden sheath of energy around your entire body, around all of your bodies, okay? This is the ultimate of the energy bodies, and we're trying to work with it directly. Certain shamanic practitioners call it the luminous energy field. Other shamanic practitioners call it the luminous egg. Whatever works for you. Of course, it starts in the soul star chakra, as New Agers would call it, and we're ending it with the earth star chakra, and we're anchoring it to that point. That's what we move down and sort of scoop it down, fingers pointing towards the root on the ground. Earth star chakra. Once you've done that, you can either anchor it one more time in the heart space, and you're going to move very slowly towards the heart space, the middle fingers to touch the center of the chest. So first we anchor the top part, then we anchor the bottom part, then we anchor the center part. This should be the center. Sometimes I feel that it should be anchored in the solar plexus, but right now I'm sort of feeling this. All right. And again, just continue the intention that golden field is strengthening, strengthening, strengthening. Now, once you've gotten to this point, that is when I consider you to be properly protected. All right. I'm not sending anything weird your way, but again, very cautious about sharing energy with people just because some people might not be ready for certain things. Some people might, we don't want to get other things from them. I mentioned all of that at the beginning. So when you're doing group work, I think it is important to be protected first. Okay, so now for this, continue anchoring that in the center of the chest and just kind of smile and allow the presence of that, your presence, your divine presence, your Yuan original spirit, your original consciousness, etc., etc., etc. You could say soul if you wanted to fuel the luminous energy field, the golden energy field that you've just created. All right. Allow that to continue. Now that you are protected, I am going to start sending Xayun Waho. Okay. So this is the sort of combined essence of that energy, and you'll start to feel it come through pretty strongly. I'm not working with any particular variety. This is as pure as I can make it. There is a certain point in the development of adepts where it becomes less about effort or struggle. It becomes less about sharing energy with somebody, and it becomes more about presence. If you're able to share energy through presence, then you're there. You know. Yeah, I grow weary of this music. See you next week. Okay, this is good stuff. At this point, you can set your intention to receive the energy that I'm sending. That always helps. This is an old technique that I used to talk about a lot. Um, and you see the cute little Buddha statues, and they have this sort of smile on their faces. Smiling actually physically helps open up the root chakra, or the crown chakra. All right. So if you're trying to receive energy, you set your intention towards that thing and the specific point of receiving whatever you want to receive, and then smile at it. All right. And that will help it come through. It sounds silly, but it's true. So once again, you're setting your intention to receive the energy that I'm sending out. You can move your hands away from the heart if you want to. Just place them in the lap, upright or down, doesn't really matter. Don't do any closed mudra stuff or whatever, because that cuts off the circuits. It's not like you're not going to receive it. It'll still get into your greater energy field, but you just want to be relaxed and open. Smile lightly and allow that energy to come through. Okay. And as you're doing that, you're letting the energy that I'm sending fill up that luminous energy field. Okay. Not a big fan of the white light stuff. I've never really vibed with it. Golden light, though, is the height of spiritual energy in a lot of different cultures, and so that's what I tend to work with. Hence the golden light meditation with the LEF. Okay, that's feeling pretty good. So the next energy that we're going to work with is the void energy. This sounds scary to some people. I am not scared of voids. This is from what we all come from. And if you really want to recycle energy, if you really want to slough off energy that you no longer need, if you really want to get rid of spirit attachments, dark entities, negative forces, negative energies, all that kind of stuff, this is what you have to work with. Again, I feel like if you just shine a bright light on the darkness, it just makes the shadows darker, because we are not beings of pure light. We're matter and spirit and all these weird combinations in between. Somewhere between yin and yang is the middle world, or in the shamanic sense, we are in the middle world, and it is all of these intricate and strange combinations of energies, and so just going straight light it doesn't really work for me. You have to acknowledge the dark stuff or work with darker energies in order to anchor those things, in order to recycle them, in order to put them down into the womb, the mother's womb, the void of space, if you want to think of it like that. I like to think of it as a black hole. Nothing can escape that. Not even a demon or dark entity or whatever it is you believe you need to remove, whether it's for yourself or somebody else. So this is what I like to do when somebody says entity attachment. The first thing I think of is the void aspect of Xayun Waho. Okay, so that's what we're working with. What you're going to do is you're going to imagine, again, you don't have to visualize, but that swirling black hole, just like that, opens up beneath your feet. All right. And the only thing that's getting sucked down into it is the stuff that needs to be recycled, the stuff that no longer serves you. Any entities, spirits, attachments, if you're aware of them, then you can use your intention to encourage them into that space. If you're not aware of them, then just be like, just set your intention that everything that no longer serves you, or your highest good, your sole purpose, however you want to phrase it, is just being recycled down, sucked down into that black hole, into that void. All right. I did this and a combination. I did a combination of this and deeksha, oneness deeksha, for a friend who was so blocked off in her energy fields that she couldn't cry. And she was like, I can't cry. I'm stoned. What's wrong with me? And I was like, okay, well, we're going to do this. And so I did the black hole thing in the center of the chest, actually. And then I did deeksha. She spent the next 3 days crying because it unstuck everything, and it allowed that energy to move and to flow. People don't think enough about energy flow, and they don't think enough about allowing it to move out of them. Releasing things, getting rid of. People are always thinking of building, 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 white light, like positive energy, all this stuff. We got to get rid of it first, and then we build ourselves back up. All right. So everything I said, put that into one intention. We're going to start working with the void. You're imagining this swirling pool. It doesn't have to be fast, especially not at first. Underneath your feet, opening up. It can be in any direction, whatever feels natural to you. I already have a natural flow going right now that is clockwise, so I'm going to work with that. If you want to work with it yourself as I'm sending this void energy, then you can do one hand down and one hand up, whichever one feels comfortable to you. And you're going to feel that, and you can kind of direct it. You don't have to go back, can't really do that, but you can sort of make this swirling with both hands in front of you, if that makes sense. You want one basically around the level of the chest and one around the level of the belly. I've got things here and a bookshelf over here, so I'm not going to do that much, but you get the idea. Okay, so now we're working with the void aspect. Allowing all the things from our energy fields, minds, spirits, whatever, to move downwards into the void. You can also just hold that, one hand up, one hand down, and again the same in between hand position. It really allows energies to start moving and flowing. You can just hold it right here and allow this energy to come into your field. When I'm working in this way with this particular posture, I notice my hands tend to just spread out over time until they're pretty much all the way pointing in either direction on either side. You might feel that too, that's all I'm saying. Once you've really established that, then you're going to imagine that the black hole that's opened up starts to sort of tornado upwards towards you and sort of envelops the rest of your energy field. You want to do it. You want to do it slowly as I'm sending energy. And again, it's not necessarily a visualization. It's more of a feeling. You can sort of feel that swirling or spiraling energy around you, and so you might move in response to it. That really helps things go along. It may not seem intuitive at first, but working with an energy like void is purifying, it's clarifying, it's cleansing. This is why we burn sage, same thing. So that when you do work with an energy like this, particularly this one, obviously, after a time, you're not going to feel empty and drained or something like that. You feel sparkly and new. You feel shiny. Eventually, once you've established that spiral of energy, void energy, moving all the way up to your aura, through your aura, once it gets to the point that we started with in the Earth, soul star chakra above the head, that point, eventually it's going to sort of flip down and then go through the center of the body. That's what you want to start to be working with now. And again, just think of like a tornado, spiraling, and it's got that like central little mini tornado on the inside of it. That's what you want moving through the center, the central core. Now, once again, once we have successfully cleared ourselves out, we want to build ourselves up. So, after you've gotten rid of all of that stuff and you've experienced like something like void, you really, you feel pristine afterwards. Again, it's about purification. It's not about this darkness and, going into the void and this scariness and Thulu or some shit. It's about cleansing. It's about purifying, about purification, right? So, once we do that, we are completely cleared out. Everything is shiny and sparkly and new. Void also helps with movement. I find like it helps get things flowing. Then we want to do something central, something pure. What am I saying? Something upbuilding. All right. So I think I want to see what comes through intuitively, actually. Okay, so we're going to be working with obsidian, which is the densest form of Xayun Waho. So it's very physical, very thick, very heavy, weighty. This is a good foundation after working with something like void, because again, clears you all out, moves blockages away, um, gets you feeling shiny and new, and then you really want to firmly establish your physicality in spirit. So again, just setting your intention to receive, breathing low and slow. You can assume a sort of warrior's posture. If you're sitting in a chair, which I hope you are, you can have closed fists over the knees and sort of push your pelvis forward. Shoulders down though. And breathe into the abdomen again. You continue to do that, and I'm sending obsidian. Okay. For those who are not used to these concepts, again, either the energy formerly known as Akadwa, which I'm calling Xayun Waho now. Xayun Waho modality is my own thing, but there are several varieties. Okay, so there's obsidian, lapis, solar, lunar, volcanic, void, cosmic, all these different types. I call them aspects now in the true sense of the word, which means it's just a different view of the energy, almost like it's been refracted through a prism or something like that. Actually, it's exactly like it's been refracted through a prism. It is refracted through the prism of the human body. All right, but these are all more fundamental aspects of energy, aspects of the universe, aspects of the earth, planets, stars, all the things. Okay, so it's an ancient energy. It's been there since the beginning, but it's also been present with many shamanic lines, priestly lines, spiritual lineages, who have added their own sort of specialness to it. All right, so that's what we're working with. And after working with obsidian, I sometimes find the next one that comes is solar. So that just kind of helps to lighten up the entire auric field. It's nourishing like the sun. And then after that, we're going to close down. So the best way that I like to do this is from my ecstatic practice, which is almost what we were doing before, all the way down, scooping up the energy slowly around us, and hands up, palms up, moving it upward and pushing it down over our bodies. And then you can end in the closing mudra again. This entire process, you can keep focused on the center of the belly or lower dantian. That's extremely effective and powerful. It's very difficult for people to do movements, qigong or whatever, and concentrate on something that is not your hands that are moving or your body, the rest of your body. But it's very powerful. After working with this energy for a while, you notice that it's extremely thick, thicker than normal chi. You might have a sort of sheen to your aura that you didn't notice before, and that's all normal. So instead of boring you with the closing down, I'm just going to let you guys do that. You continue to do this, and then of course you close exactly the way we opened, which is just continuing to concentrate on the lower dantian or the center of the belly and holding your closing mudra. Okay, so that's how all of these sessions are going to go. Again, every single time is going to be a different subject and a different set of energies. If you want to donate, if you want to support the work, and that always encourages me. I hate putting monetary value on things, but it always just lets me know, wow, I need to get serious about this and do this more often, and make sure I'm on schedule and all that kind of stuff. Then you can donate there, put it in the chat. I appreciate all of you guys showing up. And yeah, I hope you're here for the next one. Every Friday, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. Bring your friends. And I'm going to keep doing interesting stuff. Again, it'll get easier and quicker because we'll all know exactly what we're doing. And we'll do the same postures and the same sequences and all of that kind of stuff. If you have any questions, you can write them in the chat or you can let me know personally. Okay? I will see you guys soon.